Okay, there we go. All right. So, like I said, this is our Women's Health and Hormones, the fifth series. We're going to dive in, and it's hard to know where to dive in when you're talking about hormones because I feel like it's a carousel and it's always revolving, and you got to kind of figure out where are you starting, right? Because we all have different times, different cycles, different periods in our life that we are dealing with. We're all in a different stage, and everybody's hormones are at a different spot, right? Because it's a constant fluctuation. So hopefully this will help you. I watched a 6-hour presentation by Dr. Hill, who is he used to be the chief medical officer in doTERRA. And he is just brilliant. He's a brilliant mind. My mind was completely blown away with all the information. And some of you guys are health care practitioners, you're healthcare workers, and you probably know way more than I do. And I feel like we don't need to dive into all of the sciencey stuff, right? We're going to dive into what is like the top layer of helping us figure it out. So we know that hormones are constantly fluctuating. We also know that when one hormone is high in our body, the another is lower. We also know that we work with our physicians, and we're going to work with them to help us to get to where we are in a manageable position in our life. But largely, we can help our bodies tremendously just via stress management, via proper nutrition, making sure our body has a good foundation, lots of good rest, and even cleaning up on different products in our house are really going to help us largely for the most part. And then if we need extra help, we go to a physician. Now, the first place to start is just giving yourself, like rating yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. If you are like the unicorn of all people and you have zero problems, zero symptoms that you're struggling with, you can give yourself a 1, and then we need to talk afterwards. But if you are more on the other end, a 10, you have symptoms that are out of control, I feel like sometimes we might be struggling to get pregnant. We might be struggling with a lot of migraines. We might be struggling with severe menstrual type symptoms, or then that perimenopausal or postmenopausal type conditions. Whatever it is we're dealing with, some of those symptoms, some of those hormone imbalance symptoms, they're more difficult for you to understand, or maybe you don't recognize that those symptoms are actually related to hormones. So things like hyper and hypothyroidism, adrenal fatigue, difficulty losing weight, mood swings, if you have trouble sleeping, if you're waking up in the middle of the night a lot, or having infertility or poor memory, even type 2 diabetes can be linked to hormone imbalance. So there's so many different type of symptoms that we might be dealing with, or life issues we're dealing with. And so pinpointing those things can help you know where you are in that carousel of hormones. First, I want to start by recognizing that the external genitalia, the ovaries, the fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, all of these, even the breasts, are working parts of our endocrine or reproductive system, right? The ovaries in specific, they do secrete estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen is our regulator. Estrogen is what tells our body, right? It's kind of helps things go faster and slower. It's a growth, and that's what happens when we are having growth spurts as a kid, as a teenager. That estrogen is telling our body what to do. So throughout this series, this webinar, we're going to talk about different doTERRA products that are going to be helpful to help us feel better, to help us do or be a little bit better. Because what I found in my experience is when I feel better, I do better. So I might make a better choice in what I eat if I'm feeling better. I might make a better choice in how I'm reacting to people if I'm feeling better. And so that's the goal of tonight. Progesterone, as we continue on with these hormones, progesterone is a crucial part of our hormones. It is crucial in fertility. It also plays a major role in both emotional and physical health. We also know that if estrogen is high, progesterone is low. We know that nutrition and hydration directly impact the production of these two hormones. So getting proper nutrition and making sure we're hydrated will help tremendously. When it comes to progesterone, we know we have I've worked with a lot of people, and typically one of the things that I hear is people who struggle with inflammation. And we know that progesterone is it's a natural anti-inflammatory. It does help make women to be able to just make their uterus stable. So when they are carrying a baby, it's a viable little area to carry that. So the progesterone is crucial in that. And when, like I said, when estrogen is high, your progesterone will be low. So say you're having your cycle, you can actually pick symptoms that you're having and kind of recognize that you might be staying in an estrogen dominant situation or estrogen dominant cycle, and then those symptoms might come along and you would recognize that so that you could adjust that accordingly. We're going to talk about some of the recommended products, and in Lifelong Vitality is probably going to always be my favorite product when it comes to any underlying health thing. So women or not, this is the foundational nutritional support. So when it comes to hormones, I want you to pay attention to that purple bottle, the Alpha CRS Plus. So we could go into liver, right? Liver, if I want to be a nerd about the liver plays an important part in our hormone production. If the liver is messed up, our hormones will be messed up. The Alpha CRS Plus is packed full of nature's most powerful antioxidants. That incredible power pack of anti-inflammatories is going to help our liver do what it needs to do. It's going to get rid of all the bad stuff. It's going to help clean that out. And so let's just say you are out of Terrazyme, which is a digestive type enzyme. If you didn't have that, I would definitely be going with Alpha CRS Plus to help that continue on that process. But it is, there's so many great things in Alpha CRS Plus that are going to help our liver function perfectly. And so this would be where your foundation is for health and hormones. The bone nutrient complex works hand in hand with our hormones. Now, it says bone nutrient for a reason. They're bioavailable nutrition that is both for men and women. It's necessary for bone integrity. It's incredible for overall strength and overall health for our bones. If you have weak or fragile bones, any type of osteoporosis, or you have it in your family history, bone fractures previous, or susceptibility to it, anybody who's growing, this is good for kids all the way to elderly. This bone nutrient product works well with another product that I'm going to talk about. And this helps give our body the basis that we need. And it actually has a couple things in here. And I'm not going to get into all the cofactors and how it all works, but it has magnesium and vitamin D. Magnesium and vitamin D are the powerhouses to help our hormones both be produced and to function appropriately. Now, phytoestrogen complex is part of that women's health product, that women's health kit. It goes along with the bone nutrient complex, and it says women's health, but I want to be super clear right here. When Neil had his vasectomy, guess what we put him on? Bone nutrient, phytoestrogen, and Claricom, because it helps with hormones. It just balances. The phytoestrogen is a natural form of estrogen-like therapy, though it's not actually estrogen. I can't wait to show you something. It does assist to balance out not only any deficiencies that we might have in estrogen, but it also gets rid of harmful estrogen metabolites. You might have heard of xenoestrogen. If you've not heard of xenoestrogen, it's pretty awesome. Those are in a lot of different products that we have. Like if you have lavender scented things or any type of fragrance, a lot of different xenoestrogens can be introduced in our body, and you can just picture that as this bumpy, angry form of estrogen that's not really our body doesn't really want it, but it takes the place of the estrogen, the estrogen that we need. And when it goes in and does that, it doesn't allow the true estrogen, the gentle estrogen that our body needs for growth and minimal symptoms. to come in. And so what phytoestrogen does, it uses something called, it's basically a fermented soy, which is very good for our body, unlike regular soy. We can go into that, and if you guys have questions, ask me. But it helps to promote healthy breast tissue, healthy hormones in both men and women, and it gets rid of the xenoestrogen. Rose, there's a couple oils, we won't go over a ton of them, but the rose oil is also going to support your body's hormones. It is the queen of oils. We do apply it over our heart for emotional support. It's amazing for libido support. Definitely is a great oil. I think of it as it's the softener. So if you are a really strong woman, you've been through some tough stuff, rose is going to help you to find that gentle side. It helps to open up and get rid of any of that trauma that was in the past, right? You put it on the lower abdomen. It can help to relieve menstrual discomfort. It also is incredible for hormonal acne. Put it on the face for hormonal, any type of hormonal or irritated, like cystic acne, and it promotes regular ovulation. Claricom is a product that it has several oils all in one. It is not diluted, and we call it happy juice in our house. As a matter of fact, this is one of the oils we were introduced to after I stopped nursing and all the cycles started again, and my 7-year-old girl started with her mood swings. This is the oil that helped balance out our household. So it's not just about balancing hormones. It truly is about bringing in a natural way to take care of your family's overall health, because hormones run wild in the house, right? Hormone balancing, if you have heavy periods, use this daily. Some people love the aroma, some people do not. It is definitely a distinct aroma, and we put it on the bottom of our feet and in our ankles when we really don't like it. But that ankle part is where, just think of it as one of those touch sites, like on the bottom of your feet, there might be reflexology points. The ankles are the point for your uterus. So you put it on the inside of your ankles. Great for PMS or cramping, even hot flashes. So women who struggle with that peri or menopausal type on the carousel, so to speak, back of the neck, put it on the lower abdomen, even on the adrenals. We'll talk about those in a minute. And if you have mood swings, this will help out. So let's talk about the endocrine system just really quickly. We're going to go through it pretty roughly. If you have specific concerns, we can always go through those in an individual oil appointment. But endocrine system is directly involved in the growth and development of our metabolism. It truly is. It's a nutrient regulating portion of our body that helps to maintain overall homeostasis. That just means balance. It helps us to be balanced out. The endocrine system is just a bunch of glands that produce and send out hormones, like little messages that go to our different organs, and they tell our body through our circulatory system what to do. Essential oils can just be very beneficial to this because they are circulated in our body the same way, and they can benefit our cells from the inside out. So how do we care for our liver? A healthy liver is crucial in helping hormone balance. So if you're having a lot of the symptoms that you don't want, lots of lemon water or Slim and Sassy in the water. And I could probably count on my fingers and my toes how many times people come and say, well, I don't really like the taste of this. I don't like the smell of geranium. I don't like the smell of rose. Well, it's not about whether or not you like the smell. It's about whether or not it works and whether or not you want to feel good. How badly do you want your body functioning correctly? And so we just put it in a capsule and take it down if we don't like it, or we put it on the bottom of our feet if we don't want to smell it. We just drink lots of lemon water, Slim and Sassy to help clean out the liver, Zendocrine oil, either in a soft gel. There's also a white bottle that has a plant-based formula, and it is a powder and is very detoxifying to the liver. And so I highly recommend that as well. To care for the pancreas, Again, it's the Slim and Sassy. You can take the capsules 1 to 3 times a day, or you can take the oil and water. You can put it directly under your tongue or even on the bottom of your feet, but it does help release excess water. It helps blood sugar regulation, helps your metabolism stay balanced, not necessarily speeding up, but balanced. Care for our adrenals. Now, there's actually slides for each of these, so I'm going to kind of go through. Now, endocrine system, we mentioned really quickly, but I want you to notice on the slide, you can see the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, all the different glands that go out through our body, and they are literally from head to toe. And you can see here, it mentions the testicles. And I mentioned when Neil had his vasectomy, that's where we placed Clarycom. We put the Clarycom on. We helped him with the phytoestrogen in the bone nutrient complex and the Terrazyme to help his body metabolize the foods he was eating and help to absorb so his hormones would get balanced back very quickly. Now, caring for the liver, we mentioned ingesting it, but you can also take the Zendocrine oil and rub it directly over the liver. Now, caring for our adrenals, Magnolia. Okay, so you guys have heard of lavender. You probably all got it in your starter kit, right? It is an amazing Swiss Army knife. It has linalool in it, which is one of the absolute most calming chemicals that's found in nature. Well, Magnolia has 3 times the amount. It is also fantastic for adrenals. Now, if you know where your kidneys are in your back, you can take 2 fists and put your hands on your kidneys in your back and then raise them just about the amount of those 2 fists, and you're gonna find your adrenals. If you need adrenal support, you may be crashing during the day, maybe crashing and waking up several times in the middle of the night. Magnolia, rub it directly on those adrenals, then take Mito 2 Max. You can take 2 capsules twice a day, or what I found in my experience is when someone's adrenals are really out of whack, their hormones are out of whack, take Mito 2 Max at night. Sounds really weird because it's meant for energy and stamina, but the reality is it is an adrenal support supplement. And so what happens? If our hormones are out of whack, if our adrenals are out of whack, we take that at night and it helps us sleep soundly. Now, once your hormones are back in cycle, when they're back regulated and back normal, you'll find that when you take Mito 2 Max, you'll get a burst of energy. And that is when you know that you can take it during the day. So how do we care for our thyroid? Now, thyroid, hypothyroidism, all of the things that come along with that. Stress levels are high, not being able to lose weight, severe mood swings, unbelievable, like either you have hot flashes or you're really struggling with fatigue and brain fog. Those are important, but habits are more important, right? Because if we can get in a good habit with our nutrition, we can help manage our stress. We can also drink tons of water, and we can take the roller bottle of 10 drops each of clove, myrrh, frankincense, and lemongrass and put it directly on top of our thyroid. All you do is 10 drops each. You put fractionated coconut oil on top of that and just fill it up, and then you use that on your thyroid 3 times a day. Now, the Women's Health Kit, it's simple. Now, we talk about every Monday and every Friday in the group, I try to mention the Loyalty Rewards Program. There are special bonuses that we get when we use the Loyalty Rewards Program. So if you're in your back office, or not back office, in your website, you look for kits or collections, you'll find that some say LRP only. That just means that when you're on the Loyalty Rewards Program, you're a loyal customer. That means you get to have special bonuses and deeper discounts than people who choose to only shop every once in a while. On top of that, if you chose to get these specific products, I always say start with the Lifelong Vitality. That's your foundation. And then add the women's kit on top. The women's kit is the bone nutrient complex and the phytoestrogen and the Clarycom. If you buy the set, you basically get Clarycom for free. So that's a free oil in itself. And then let's just say you chose to get this package on your LRP. It's $139.50. It's 120 PV. So guess what you get? You get the free oil of the month. And this month, it's fennel. Fennel is fantastic for digestive issues. and digestive support, and it's also a really great gentle oil for cramping. So it's another good one to have. So you get free product credit on top of that. So you get all the bonuses that you get with your loyalty rewards program, your free product of the month, and then you would get the free Claricalm. All right, so before I come into this, I'm going to stop share for just a second. Did anybody write any questions in here? Let's see. Feel free to stop. I'm just going to give you guys just a second to ask questions. I kind of flew through that on purpose. It is a lot of information, right? I'm going to tell you one more thing because I almost forgot. Grapefruit. Grapefruit is your phytoestrogen, or not your phytoestrogen, your progesterone's best friend. So if you can start with one thing, if you're struggling with hot flashes, if you're struggling with being fatigued or any hormone imbalance right now, I want you to grab grapefruit. 16 drops extra a day. Find a way to get it in your water, or just take it in a capsule and put it in maybe 3 times a week, and then take that down. It's going to help support your body's estrogen, phytoestrogen balance, so that your body can then do what it needs to do to help keep those symptoms at bay. Okay. All right. Anybody have some questions, or even better, experiences? I'm very comfortable with uncomfortable silence, just so you know.
Hey, Crystal.
Hey,
it's Terry. So I started using the grapefruit because of what you had mentioned before, and I wasn't sure I could tolerate it under the tongue. I tried 1 drop, but I usually wind up with more than 1. But actually, I have noticed a huge difference already, and I've only been doing it for like 4 days now.
Yay!
So yeah.
Awesome. What were you struggling with? Do you mind?
I have several things I'm struggling with. I have high cholesterol. I'm struggling with keeping my sugar levels under control. And the stress at work is not contributing positively to either of those. So
awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Else is good for thyroid besides clove and myrrh? Okay, so the slide had a couple different things, right? So clove, myrrh, frankincense, and lemongrass. And Terry mentioned lemongrass, so just off the cuff, lemongrass is the one I know Judy Brown uses for her cholesterol. Add that to your mix. All right, I'm looking at my pictures because I actually didn't have time to add it to the slide, but there's also a Superwoman blend. Let me grab it real quick. The Superwoman blend, and I might just add it to the group right after so that everybody can have it. And if you're not on Facebook, message me if you want it, okay? It is, I took a bunch of pictures before for this. So Superwoman, there it is. Okay, Superwoman blend is 10 milliliter roller, and it has 12 drops of clary sage, 10 drops of lavender, 5 drops of geranium, 4 drops of ylang ylang, and 4 drops of cedarwood. And optionally there you can put 4 drops each of jasmine and rose. And the reason why you're going to hear a lot of flowers, right? Clary sage is a flower, geranium, ylang ylang, jasmine, rose. Flowers and hormones go together perfectly. And the most frequent question that I get is, what if I'm already estrogen dominant? If I start putting in oils like the lavender or the phytoestrogen, is that going to add more estrogen to me? Essential oils cannot add estrogen. They are not estrogen. They balance our body. They basically, if you think of your body as the frame, and your cells are like the little people that are like working on it, right? Essential oils are just plants. And so you're going to put the plant in, and it's going to help nourish that framework. It's not going to add anything to the framework. It doesn't build upon it. It just goes in and out perfectly to help support your body. So it will not ever add more estrogen. That's not how oils work, but it will definitely balance us out. All right, so let's see. Great info. Awesome, Christy. Thank you. And PCOS. So Kim asked about PCOS. There's definitely a protocol for that. And what we talked about tonight is that protocol: Lifelong Vitality, the women's kit, the Claricalm, and then that Superwoman oil blend would be great to supplement it. But I've had 3 people in the group have great success with this. So Kim, if you want to message me after, we can work up a plan. Okay. All right. So that, just remembering that this is the basic foundation of it. Every single person's body is different. We should be working with our physician with this, and then helping our body as much as we can. So if you can't do anything right now with oils, there's 2 things you can do. You can drink a lot of water, and you can start cleaning up your house. If you have chemicals that are going to cause those xenoestrogens, lots of cleaners, lots of things with fragrance, perfumes, candles, anything smelly that has the word perfume or fragrance, you do not want to put that on your body. And so if that's all you can do, that's free, right? You can kind of start doing like vinegar sprays and lemon, and helping your body by just cleaning out the cells yourself. And that takes months to get rid of. And that's why this is just a cycle. It's a life. It's a lifestyle. And so slowly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you guys just to stay on for a few more minutes, and just think of it as like you just had a huge dinner of information, right? Like this was a huge, big old chunk. But I'm going to invite you to something that I feel like is a really sweet part of doTERRA. It's a part that completely changed my life even more than the essential oils did. It's the business portion of it. And so what I'm going to do is talk for about 15 minutes and share with you with what I feel like is like the cherry on top. It's just a little bit of how doTERRA works and how our family has benefited, not only financially, but I feel like as an entire household, we run better because we've learned things on how to run a business. And guess what? Family is like your largest business that you run, right? And so we learned so many crucial and important things with doTERRA, and I just can't wait to show you what that stuff is. So if you want to stick around for about 10 minutes, we can do this. And we're getting to the point where we can start having classes in person again. The CDC announced yesterday that the COVID is almost out of the epidemic status. Like, I was super thrilled to see that, like unbelievably thrilled. That's exciting for me. So let me share my screen again. And we're going to go into this really quickly. So what I found is, let me go back here, is that one, I didn't ever expect to come into doTERRA and do it as a business. And I really feel like most people come into doTERRA because they're having these symptoms that they're dealing with, and they really just want to help their family, whoever, whatever it is. Maybe it's themselves, or maybe it's someone in their family, live a better lifestyle and get rid of some of those problems. So there are 3 types of people in doTERRA. One is just the people who want to live with their oils and feel better. The second person is someone who loves their oils so much that they start to share about them, and they end up starting to get a little bit of a check, and they start to pay for their oils because they are sharing so helpfully. Now, let me just answer this question real quick. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Pat. Okay, so with that second part, they're getting their oils paid for, and that's someone who usually maybe wants to host a class and really just loves their friends, right? They're talking to their friends. Then they start to notice that they are getting their oils paid for, and they might really love to help people. And that is a person that would be more open to building and earning an income and really making an impact on their family's lifestyle. So whatever place that we're at, those 3 type of people, I feel like doTERRA is made up of them. It doesn't matter, because doTERRA is designed to perfectly fit and fill all of the needs of each of these people. So ask yourself this: where are you? Are you in a traditional job where you're trading your hours for dollars? Are you limited on advancements in your job, in your are you able to get a promotion? Are you able to earn more money? Are you capped at those things? Capped by either education or by experience or by what the job entails and what you're allowed to go further. Are you limited on your time freedom? Do you have to, or do you have to basically ask for time off? Do you have to ask for or schedule out the things that you need when it comes to time off? Are you building someone else's dreams, or are you building your own? So true residual income, and this is when I first heard about this, I heard about basically what is a residual income and what is building a pipeline with doTERRA. And this is what rung true with me. I always thought that the traditional way was the only way. Well, for our family, it really didn't work because I didn't want to be gone for long hours out of the day. I wanted to be near my kids, and this model worked perfectly. So it's just more about having a true residual income, working hard for a little while and then allowing that money to keep flowing in afterwards. And there was no limit. I've always been a self-starter. I've been a person who I set my limits, and then I meet those limits, and then I just say what's next. And this type of business model worked perfectly for me because then I was able to keep going at my own rate. I was able to choose my own schedule. I don't miss ball games. I don't miss practices. I don't miss parties and birthday parties. I get to do whatever I want, and I get to build my own dreams. So while we're talking about a business, it's important to know who you're partnering with. So why doTERRA? doTERRA is the most trusted and most tested essential oil company. They have over 8.5 million customers worldwide. They are used by doctors and hospitals worldwide. They are the largest essential oil company in the world, and they've grown at a rate that was similar to Apple. And what that means is they became a billion-dollar company in just under 7 years. They're a debt-free company. They have record-breaking retention rate, and that means a good networking company. The average person comes back about 13% of the time to buy again. With doTERRA, they have a record-breaking rate of 65%. That means people come back 65% of the time to order again and again and again monthly. They do create partnerships around the world to make sure that they are pursuing the pure, both in plant and in helping people and in their relationship with people. They're privately owned, so they have no debt, and they can help people as they see fit. Now, this is that story that I heard about hauling buckets versus a pipeline, building a pipeline. And this is what I remember. There was a man, and he had a really great job because it was job security, and he would haul those buckets every single day, and he would go down to the water source and haul them back to the village, and he would be paid based on his buckets, how many buckets he hauled. Well, he got tired. It was tiring. It was hard on his body. He was doing it so much, and if he needed time off, he couldn't take time off because he wouldn't get paid. If somebody was sick, he couldn't stop what he was doing. He still needed that money. And he found that, you know what? He was seeing all these problems with it. So he decided, if I work extra, if I work in the wee mornings or I work late at night, I can then build a pipeline and then have residual income. And so that's what he did. He didn't stop hauling the buckets. He kept his job, but he worked a little bit extra. And then he started building that pipeline. And at the end of a few short years, he turned on that pipeline. He turned on the spigot right at his house, and he no longer had to haul the buckets. He built his dream, and that hard work paid off. So how do I make money with doTERRA? I call it ignorance on fire, because when I first learned about oils, I literally knew nothing about essential oils, nothing about recruiting, nothing about teaching people. I was not a teacher at all. As a matter of fact, Neil and I hated going out. We're completely introverted type people. And now I feel like doTERRA has changed that for the better because I've grown as a human. Our whole family has grown. All I did was sample people. I taught them about what I loved. I helped them get their own accounts because I'm not Costco and nobody has time to help people order everything for them, right? And then I just supported them. So things like this continuing education series, you can plug your people into things like special fun events. Like we have, if we enroll 30 people in a month, the next month that we reach that, we're giving away a really awesome gift. It's a roller bottle set. That is the touch kit that doTERRA offers. And it's just fun things like that, like the Facebook group and oil camp that's coming up on the 19th of this month. That's all we do. And then we talk about the income. Now, I think I'm just going to explain this way. When I first started, I started getting checks in the mail, and I would just basically cash the checks and put my money under the silverware tray, and I saved it for a rainy day, and I would take the kids to Target because I was bored. I stayed home with my kids and I homeschooled. And when we were bored, we went to Target. Then Neil saw the money and he said, well, babe, we're paying $1.60 something to cash these. Why don't we do direct deposit? And then he noticed how much money we were getting. And at first it was just $200 a month. And then it was $400 a month. And he was like, hey, why don't you go do this some more? And it would just slowly. And then the more people I told that, wow, I was making enough money to be able to pay for my car payment. And eventually we were able to move into an RV. Those things became so tangible that it was just like this dream that I never knew I had became possible. And that's where we've grown, and we've gotten all the way to platinum in a 2.5-year span. And we love this lifestyle because we've watched time and time and again, people who intentionally put their time into this are successful. So, and I explained to you a little bit about what it means to me, a residual income. And this is how much time is involved. Either we can pay for our products by just spending 3 to maybe 5 hours a week. So if you love your products and you're happy to get them paid for, then we can work with that. If you are someone who wants to supplement your income, treat it like a part-time job, 10 to 15 hours a week in your spare time. And then, or sometimes we feel like we never have spare time. So it's more about being intentional, right? And then maybe if you want to replace your income, if you have 15 to 30 hours that you're willing to commit and do the work, the income will come. So can it work for you? These are the questions I'm going to ask. Are you passionate about the oils? If you don't have passion about oils and if you don't care about people, it might not be the right fit for you. But if you are passionate about the oils, if you care about people, if you're already talking about the oils, and if you can follow a system and get things done, then this is definitely the right place for you. So what's the next step? Find the person, find out what type of person are you. Do you want to share? Do you want to build? Do you want to attend the next Business Made Easy presentation? There will be one this month. And then just get connected. There's something called dailymentorcalls.com. I started out and I made this business really hard. I'm going to tell you now. I reinvented the wheel. You don't have to. I picked everything apart and I figured it all out, and I wrote my notes of 8 pages and stood in front of a class. You don't have to do that because I learned the hard way that I gave way too much information to people. People just need to feel heard, and they needed to feel cared about, and that's it. And all I needed to do was open my book and show them what to get, and that's it. So if that feels like something you'd be interested in, definitely connect. We'll get you to the next Business Made Easy course, and we can sit down and do a little 3-way call so we can all talk together and see if this is a good fit for you, so that I can see where to support you. All right, because I feel like nowadays this is what I've been getting in the last month. People are losing jobs and they're needing to find another way to make money. And that seems to be the overwhelming response that I'm getting. All right, that's all I have, guys, for you tonight. So if you have questions, I'm going to stop